How can I help you?
We'd like to buy 8,000 Windfall tickets.
The film opens in a quiet little town called Evart, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone. Inside a dusty old pickup truck, we see Jerry and Marge, a sweet, long-married couple, on their way to buy lottery tickets. But they're not just hoping for luck. They've found a way to mathematically predict it. But their story doesn't start here. Every morning, Jerry wakes up wondering if today will be his last day at work. He spent his entire life managing a cereal factory, running one of the departments with pride. But lately, he's noticed the looks, those silent signs that the company's moving on without him. During a meeting with the board, Jerry tries to remind them that he's still capable, still sharp. But his bosses have already decided it's time for him to retire. They thank him for his 42 years of service, smiling politely as they shut down his conveyor line for good. That night, during a family dinner, Jerry hides his disappointment behind forced smiles. His children try to cheer him up with a surprise gift, a small boat. Everyone laughs, but behind Jerry's eyes is a quiet sadness, the kind that comes when you lose your purpose. Days pass, weeks even. The boat just sits there, untouched. Until one morning, Jerry finally decides to try it out. But in his nervous excitement, he forgets to set the handbrake. The car rolls straight toward the water. He barely manages to stop it in time. But the boat's motor? Completely destroyed. Defeated, Jerry heads to a small cafe to calm down. And that's when he overhears a conversation that changes his life. The cashier is talking about something called the Windfall Lottery. It's a special game where if no one hits all 6 numbers, the jackpot rolls down to those who get 3 or 4 right, turning small wins into big payouts. Curious, Jerry starts scribbling on a napkin. His mind races through probabilities, percentages, odds. And then it hits him. There's a loophole. The math shows that if the jackpot rolls over high enough, you could guarantee profit just by buying enough tickets. Jerry rushes to his friend Steve, explaining his discovery like a kid who's just cracked a secret code. But Steve doesn't believe a word of it. "The game's rigged," he laughs. No way they'd let people take their money that easy. But Jerry isn't the kind of man who gives up on numbers. Without telling his wife, he withdraws $2,000 and almost all his savings, and buys 2,000 lottery tickets. That night, while his wife Marge is out, Jerry sits alone checking every single ticket by hand. But luck isn't on his side. The math was right, but the odds were cruel. He loses. Days later, while playing cards with friends, Jerry's distracted, too lost in thought to even follow the game. Marge notices his strange behavior and gently confronts him on the porch. As they talk about luck and chance, Jerry suddenly realizes what went wrong. He didn't buy enough tickets. The math works, but only if you eliminate luck entirely. So the next morning, he heads back to the bank, smiles politely at the cashier, and withdraws everything. $8,000, his entire life savings. Once again, he drives to the local store and buys mountains of lottery tickets. People watch in confusion as Jerry fills his arms with stacks of paper. Hope printed in ink. Later that day, over lunch with friends, Marge casually mentions how she and Jerry don't gamble. Their friends laugh, agreeing that only crazy people throw away thousands on such games. Jerry stays quiet, hiding a small, nervous smile. Because what they call crazy, he calls calculated. Listening to his wife and friends, Jerry suddenly starts choking on his food. Not from the meal, but from realization. He is one of those crazy people they've been talking about. But fate seems to reward madness, because the very next day, as Jerry checks the lottery results, his eyes widen in disbelief. He's won $15,000, almost double the amount he spent on tickets. He can't believe it. The numbers, the math, it actually worked. Sneaking home like a secret agent, Jerry hides in the pantry, pulling wads of cash from his socks and stuffing them into a popcorn tin. His heart races, not from guilt, but from excitement. The next day, as the family gathers in the backyard, Jerry keeps quiet, but his secret almost slips when his curious granddaughter wanders into the pantry for a snack. Just before she opens the tin, Jerry swoops in, pretending she's about to spoil dinner, and hides the money again, this time inside a cereal box. That night, though, Jerry's cover gets blown. When Marge casually mentions the pantry, he accidentally spills everything. The tickets, the winnings, the plan. But instead of scolding him, Marge surprises Jerry with a smile. She isn't angry. She's thrilled. After 40 long years of hard work and routine, they finally have something fun. Something that's just theirs. The couple decides to invest all $15,000 back into tickets, but there's one problem. The lottery has officially closed in their state. To keep playing, they'll have to cross state lines into Massachusetts. Jerry and Marge visit their old friend Steve to figure out where they can buy the tickets. When Steve hears their plan, and the part about winning, his skepticism melts into excitement. He throws in $1,000 of his own, joining their little operation. The next morning, before the sun even rises, Jerry and Marge hit the road. Thermos of coffee in hand, the two drive toward a new adventure, laughing like teenagers again. When they finally reach a gas station with a lottery terminal, Jerry walks up to the clerk and calmly says, "We'd like to buy 8,000 Windfall tickets." The clerk's eyes nearly pop out. 8,000 tickets. The machine can only print 1,000 per hour, so they'll have to stay until nightfall. But instead of being annoyed, Jerry's excited. The clerk lets him run the machine himself, and for the next few hours, the printer hums like a jackpot engine. That evening, they check into a small motel, tired but giddy. Together, they spread out stacks of tickets across the bed and turn on the TV to watch the draw. Hour after hour, they check, mark, and count. By dawn, the results are in. They've won $21,000. The math works again. On the drive home, Marge gets an idea. What if they brought in more people? Not for greed, but to help their little town? If everyone chips in, everyone wins. And just like that, G&M Investments is born. A homegrown lottery corporation made up of friends and neighbors who've known each other for decades. Some pay cash, others offer trade. One guy even hands over his quad bike instead of money. Each person invests $500, trusting Jerry's math and Marge's heart. The next time they visit the gas station, Jerry and Marge spend $40,000 on tickets. The young clerk, Bill, can't believe his eyes. "Where'd you get that kind of money?" he asks. Marge just smiles. "We're professionals." But when the store closes early, they hit a snag. The tickets won't finish printing before midnight. So Jerry makes a bold move. He invites Bill to join them, not as a clerk, but as a partner. "Bill," he says, "meet GS Investment Strategies." Bill laughs but agrees, and just like that, he's in. Before long, Bill brings in his own friends too. "Hey," he jokes, "I got 2 new shareholders. One's got to rob his parents' house real quick, but he's definitely in." That night, everyone waits for the results. Jerry and Marge prepare for another long night of counting tickets, but Bill rushes in with good news. After the draw, the store receives a printout with all the winnings from their batch. When the results come in, the numbers are staggering. Their total has doubled again, now reaching $80,000. Jerry and Marge can hardly believe it. They've built something real, something honest, smart, and completely legal. But success never goes unnoticed. Across the state, at Harvard University, a math student named Tyler is conducting his own research on the lottery. He's calculating odds, studying patterns, and soon he'll discover that someone out there is beating the system. And when he does, everything Jerry and Marge have built will be at risk. After running a complex simulation, the Harvard student Tyler comes to a shocking conclusion. The math checks out. There is a way to guarantee a win. He's found the same loophole Jerry discovered. Excited and hungry for fame, Tyler gathers his dorm mates and pitches his plan. He promises they'll become legends and are the first students in history to beat the lottery. Everyone buys in. They hand over their cash, trusting his genius. "I'm in charge," Tyler says. "I'll handle everything." While the students prepare for their first play back in Michigan, Jerry's little operation is booming. He now stores boxes upon boxes of printed lottery tickets in his garage, his quiet empire built on pure math and heart. He's even ready if the tax authorities come knocking. Every ticket is accounted for. That evening, Jerry gathers his investors for a small presentation. He wants to show them how much profit they've made. But as he dives into the numbers, people start wandering toward the food table. They're not here for spreadsheets. They're here for community, for fun. Jerry smiles quietly. Somehow his math experiment has become something much bigger. The next day, Jerry, Marge, and Steve meet over coffee. Their goal? Buy $600,000 worth of tickets. Jerry knows the loophole won't last forever, and if they're going to make history, this is the moment. We need to make as much as we can while we can, he says. For the town, for everyone. Meanwhile, at the lottery headquarters, an employee notices something odd. Statistically, there should only be 5 winners a year over $50,000. But one town in Michigan has a new jackpot every 3 weeks. Who drives 10 hours every month to play the lottery in another state? The boss shrugs. Doesn't make any sense. Across the state line, the Harvard students are cashing in too. Their scheme is working, but one of them, Eric, notices something strange. Their winnings are smaller than they should be. Curious, he digs deeper and uncovers another group, pulling in massive amounts from a different location. Using his hacking skills, he breaks into the lottery database and finds them. The other group is Jerry and Marge. Soon after, the students travel to Massachusetts, the gas station where Jerry and Marge are celebrating their 46th wedding anniversary. The couple laughs over stacks of tickets, their fingers inked with numbers, their hearts light as ever. This was easier when I was 16, Marge jokes. You're even more beautiful now, Jerry smiles. Their moment is interrupted when Tyler and Eric walk in. They expected hardened criminals, not a sweet gray-haired couple. They can't help but sneer. Tyler arrogantly offers them a deal, join forces or step aside. But Jerry calmly declines. The students scoff. At Harvard, we study real math, Tyler brags. Jerry chuckles. You forgot the human factor. Binomial distribution doesn't account for human error. Or the time it takes to fill the tickets. You gain about $32 for every 100,000 you bet. You're welcome. Tyler's face tightens. Seriously, shut up. But Jerry and Marge just smile. They've got nothing to prove. The next day, we see the results of their quiet empire. Bill, the gas station clerk, drives off in a brand new car, celebrating his freedom after a messy divorce. The local farmer expands his business. And Steve buys himself a shiny Lamborghini. Their small town is thriving. At the lottery headquarters, the same employee once again brings up Jerry's massive wins, this time in the millions. But his boss barely reacts. It's the lottery, he shrugs. People are supposed to win. Back in Michigan, the arrogant Tyler shows up at Jerry's door. This time, he's not smiling. He threatens Jerry, claiming he hacked into the lottery system to find their location, and that he can easily access every investor's account. Stop playing, Tyler warns. You've made enough. Or we'll ruin you. Jerry realizes the risk has grown too great. At the next town meeting, he gathers everyone and announces that it's time to walk away. Some investors protest. Why let those college kids take it all from us? Steve asks. Jerry simply replies, it's not about math anymore. It's about being human. But the fire inside him hasn't gone out. After talking with his son and wife, Jerry changes his mind. He won't let greed or fear decide for him. If they're going out, they'll go out on their terms. When Tyler learns that Jerry is still in the game, he snaps. He comes up with a counterattack. If his team buys up all the tickets before Jerry's group can, they'll control the jackpot distribution. They'll own the game. But for that, he needs serious money. So he turns to his father's powerful business associates and convinces them to fund his plan. Soon, Bill runs into Jerry with urgent news. "The drawing's tonight, not next week," he says. Jerry realizes what happened. The students pulled their move early. He immediately drives to Harvard. Standing before the students, Jerry doesn't yell. He simply tells them the truth. They may be smart, but they've forgotten the meaning behind the numbers. "It's not just about winning," he says. "It's about giving back." As he leaves, his words hit them hard. One by one, the students stop filling out their tickets. Jerry returns home with a realization of his own. If the lottery officials know what's happening and don't stop it, it must mean they don't care. So maybe he can turn that apathy into opportunity. Together with Marge, he goes straight to the lottery board of directors. Calmly but confidently, Jerry proposes two things. Make the jackpot amount public, so no one can manipulate it in secret, and grant him 2 ticket printing machines to speed up legitimate play. The board listens and agrees. The game may have started as a loophole, but now it's a symbol of fairness. And at the heart of it all, 2 retirees from a small Michigan town who used math, love, and a little luck to change not just their lives, but their entire community. The story picks up as the students at Harvard realize something's different. The lottery website has changed. Now the jackpot amount is visible to everyone. Tyler frowns. His advantage is gone. "We'll hack the site," he says coldly. But when he rushes back to the dorm, his confidence crumbles. The room is empty. Every student who once believed in his genius has abandoned him. Tyler stands alone, realizing his greed has cost him everything. Meanwhile, miles away, a journalist named Maya Jordan from the Boston Globe is digging deep into the mystery of these unusual lottery winners. Her investigation leads her straight to Jerry and Marge. When she visits their humble home, she's shocked. The pensioner doesn't hide anything. Jerry shows her dozens of boxes filled with old lottery tickets, all carefully stacked. With a warm smile, he says, "I don't mind spending days and nights checking these with my wife. That's what makes me happy." His words leave Maya speechless. There's no greed in him, only love, patience, and purpose. Later, her editor demands a harsh exposé, a scandal-filled article that will make headlines. But Maya's heart says otherwise. She discovers that Jerry and Marge aren't just playing the lottery, they're using their winnings to rebuild their town, restoring businesses, funding schools, reviving joy in a place long forgotten. Then comes the day Jerry and Marge decide to play one last time. They drive to their usual gas station, ready to buy their final stack of tickets. But something's wrong. The ticket machines are gone. The clerk explains that the lottery company revoked the license right after an article exposed the game's flaw. Jerry's face drops, but then he sees the paper. It's not him on the cover, it's Tyler. The headline paints the student as a greedy mastermind who exploited the lottery for personal gain. Somewhere in Boston, Tyler's father sees the same paper. Humiliated, he storms into his son's dorm and orders him to pack up. The young genius who thought he could outsmart everyone now leaves in silence, defeated by his own pride. Later that night, Jerry and Marge attend the investor meeting. But instead of numbers and tickets, they're greeted by music, laughter, joy. The townspeople have gathered to surprise them with a jazz festival, something their city hasn't seen in decades. Turns out the people Jerry inspired had one last trick of their own. Before the lottery was shut down, they drove across the state, visiting every store that still had a working machine, and bought every last ticket. They thank Jerry and Marge for everything they've done, not just for helping them win money, but for giving them back their community, their pride, and their happiness. As the night fills with music, Jerry takes Marge's hand. They sneak away from the crowd, laughing like teenagers again. Together, they dance under the stars, then return home to do what they love most, counting lottery tickets side by side. In the end, Jerry's total winnings reached $27 million. But the real prize isn't the money. It's the life they built, for themselves, their friends, and their town. Most of their earnings went into improving their community and helping kids get a better future. Even Bill, the friendly gas station clerk, built the ultimate man cave of his dreams. And so, the story of Jerry and Marge isn't just about luck or numbers. It's about love, purpose, and proving that it's never too late to start living large. Because sometimes the biggest jackpot is a life well lived.